Hey everybody, it seems that it's been a while since I've done a video on the steps of AA, and last left off at step 5 was admitting to ourselves, to God, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And in step 6, we humbly ask God to remove our shortcomings. Let me actually start with something else. And this was pointed out to me many years ago. If you ever go, it's the same 12 steps in every program, but the wording of the first step will change. The principles behind it are the same, the exact same, but it's powerless over sex addiction or drug use, powerless over gambling. But so I've noticed in some of the other meetings, non-AA, it's the way the paper is formatted is slightly different. But in AA, in step 6, if you look top to bottom, left to right, the exact center of the page is the word God. Most people wouldn't notice that. I wouldn't have noticed either unless somebody told me. So step 6, I find that really interesting that it was put together that way. I don't know if Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob, they did that on purpose, or that's how it came out naturally. I don't know. But that's top to bottom, left to right is the word God. And I've noticed in whichever other ones, it's again the same step. It's just the way it's formatted, maybe the font size, whatever it is, which I find an interesting thing. That I don't find has much to do with the actual step itself, but just something interesting. They put God at the dead center of the page. But step 6 is humbly ask God to remove our shortcomings. And this comes, okay, you might hear in step 1, 2, and 3, I can, he can, so let him. My own thing was, okay, something I'm doing is wrong. The George Costanza syndrome, I call it. Something I'm doing is wrong. By default, the opposite has to be right. Go for it. 1, 2, and 3. So now we get to step 4, and we have to see what we're doing wrong. It's even if it's not done perfectly, you do have to try and get it. You have to do it as best you can. But in my case, there were things that came up 2.5 years, 3 years into sobriety that I had completely forgot about. And then a year or two after that, a big one came up that I had completely forgotten about. Not on purpose. That's just, I forgot. And step 5 comes in as accountability. To hold us to, somebody to hold us to make our amends. To help us see, like what I would now do based on my experience taking somebody through the steps is, did you get everything? Because of the fact, like, I forgot some really big stuff. It wasn't, I'm sorry I stepped on your shoe in 2nd grade. It was big stuff. It was possible legal consequence stuff. Thankfully, there weren't when it happened, but it very easily could have, while I was out there, very easily could have been I did something illegal and should have been punished. Could have been. Thankfully, it wasn't. But where we do step 6 is it's accountability. We need that. That's one of the things we learn as a personal trainer and nutritionist is, and I've done in other videos, is MASK, motivation, accountability, structure, and knowledge. Accountability, holding up another addict, whatever it is. If you're in Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, to another sex addict. If you're in AA, it's another alcoholic. If it's gambling, you go with another gambler. To hold you accountable for what you've done, to help you do this honestly. You say, did you get everything? That's something I would now ask somebody based on my experience. Did you get everything? It's okay if you forgot. It's not okay if you leave it out on purpose. And helping the person see, oh my God, this is me. This is I think of it as, here's the mirror. Look in the mirror. This is you. This is what you have done. This is your personality. This is the way you are. This is the mirror showing you what you really are. I'm sure most of us know what a mirror is. A mirror is showing you what you are, shows you how you look in that outfit. And this is mainly kind of step 5, which is based on step 4. But now we have to say, okay, wait a minute. I got problems. I do this, it causes trouble. I feel this way, so it causes trouble. I did this. I did this to somebody, now I'm going to jail. And saying, wait a minute, I've done all this wrong, and help me see is that if this is what I've always done is wrong, here's the opposite to do it right. To help look at, okay, if I've kept making bad choices in the career, I'm using that based on my own experience, do something else. If something I'm doing isn't working, instead of making a left every time, go right. Make a right turn instead of a left turn. To help you see that and take it through his life. And I've had to learn this the hard way many times is, well, I keep going for the same thing and it's not working. I might want to go a different way. To help you see, wait a minute, I need help to not do this anymore. In my case, I get drawn into bad decisions. I'm hooked on chaos. I'm hooked on drama, trouble, whatever it is. And okay, hey, I need help. I need a different way to do it. And that's what step 6 is. Hey, wait a minute. God, higher power, sponsor, I need some help. Let's look at things we can do to replace that. I'll give you an example of my own life. I hate driving. I hate it with a passion. People around, holy crap, they don't look anywhere, whatever. I can go on a whole rant about that. But to do something different, call another AA person. That's something, because I usually am with myself in the car, physically and metaphorically up there. Call somebody. Hey man, how are you? Or put on something funny, or listen to something that I find very helpful, which I would imagine now people have satellite radio. Put on some Joel Osteen. Put on the there's a Catholic channel, Joel Osteen. There's another one. I think 2 more. Religious channels. Put something on, because if I know if I'm listening to Joel Osteen, I have him on satellite radio, it's going to change my mindset while I'm driving 30 miles to work on I-95 with a bunch of lunatics who aren't looking. Let's work around my defects and try something else. I'm not going to physically be with somebody 24 hours a day for somebody to give me the slap in the back of the head and says, watch how you drive. This guy's going to cut you off. Like, move away. It doesn't work like that. I need something to hold me accountable at all times. Believe me, I'm not accountable for much, unfortunately, to be honest. To be accountable for what I've done in the past, can't get away with the trouble, for what I'm in the moment. I don't know about the future. But life, it's with whatever your weakness is. A good example is, I learned very early on in recovery. I got invited to a reunion. I didn't even have a sponsor yet. I was very early in recovery, and I went to bar in Manhattan, and the very few people I did talk to in AA were like, what the hell are you thinking? Why would you go to that? You're going to a bar in Manhattan? You're walking directly into the lion's den, and you're a deer with 2 legs. Like, you're gonna get eaten up. What are you doing? And the phone, how it worked in my case was, going outside, calling those 3 people, hey, I don't know what to do, should I try it, should I go home, whatever. And at the end, I did not drink. I did tell a childhood friend that I was trying to get sober. And what wound up happening was, and I'm not saying to say you go to a bar, but humbly asking him to remove our shortcomings. There will be a time you're at a wedding, a sweet 16, a bar mitzvah, a funeral, the Super Bowl, and a baseball game. There's going to be alcohol around you. There's going to be, if you are SLAA, you're going to wind up walking by a Victoria's Secret at some point. Or if it's whatever else, gambling. The state I live in, gambling's legal. Or you're going to go to Atlantic, you're going to wind up in Atlantic City or Las Vegas for a convention. This is step 6. I have to be aware of what's going on around me. Being aware of it, being accountable, and having to answer for it. If I had drank that first night that I just took at the bar in Manhattan, I would have had to answer it. Not that it was that much time then. Say, oh, crap, I have to start my sober date over. I have to start the count again. I just lost that time where my life was starting to get changes. There were noticeable changes, and having to answer for it. With the, I will link at the end of this video the accountability video that I done whenever it was. It's saying, I know I'm going to have to answer to my sponsor or to whoever else, to God, to my family. Why would I drink again? And it's paying attention to what my weaknesses are. And I said it before, working around them. Or what I like to do is, wouldn't use this in the case of drugs or alcohol necessarily. I would if I had to, but it's if you have a weakness, we're going right for it. And this is something I do with the personal training clients. I am going to link the accountability video. Is when I know I know that I have personal training clients. They're going to work out because I'm showing up. What I have to do is call them once or twice during the week. Hey, are you going to the gym? Or I need to hear at the end of today that you went to the gym. Or we agreed Tuesday at 1 o'clock you're going to be at the gym. I'm going to call you Tuesday at 12:55 and say, where are you? Are you there yet? That I find is the essence of step 6. To admit it, to be aware of it, to need help paying attention to where I go wrong, what my patterns are, paying attention to it. And I did this, I might have mentioned it in the step 1 video, I don't remember. But sitting with my sponsor, my first sponsor at Starbucks, and he kind of led me on to do it the right way. I liked that he did that. And we were sitting there, I said, here, ton of brick, I'm not going to say his name, but here, ton of bricks, you can have it. I'm going to use a pseudonym. Let's say his name is Steven. That's not his real name. But here, Steven, ton of bricks. I don't want it. I'm an alcoholic. Take it. Gone. That's 4 and 5. And step 6 is help me to pay attention to when I go wrong. I know if I see there's a pattern, I know I go wrong in the morning if I don't pray first, whatever it is. I know I go wrong if I'm running late. Okay, let's pay attention to it if I don't pray first. Or let's pay attention to if I know I'm late, set the alarm an hour earlier in the morning. Simple fix. These are the essences of step 6. We all need help. We all need someone to answer to, whether it's our boss, whether it's our sponsor, whether it's God, whether it's our wife, whether it's you know what, kids. If I got to pay the bills, if I got to hold my job because I have kids to take care of, those kids having, not the kids themselves, but the idea of having those kids is holding me accountable to answer for it. And I tell this with my family. How about doing it right the first time? That is the essence of step 6.